we have a different perspective of information scientist on the table. We have Dr. Dinesh Pradhan, who is an information scientist working in InflipNet, and he will touch upon aspects related to similarity and plagiarism. We editors, we use terms very appropriately. So, sir, can you please share your perspective?
Before I go into that, yeah, I just want to add that maybe Patwardhan sir has known that the draft guideline for this API that was being drafted, but that has not yet come. There are some changes in the draft guideline, which is like decreasing the number of publication or not making it mandatory and all those things. But maybe that is what it has happened all through this people who are close to the government, and they have pushed for all these things. Basically, I am from InflipNet. How many of you know about InflipNet? Only one or two. Okay. So basically, it's a library networking center. So I am a library science professional. So I will just touch upon something about the Shodhganga repository. That's also a repository for thesis databases. Okay, so there are many doctors here. So I'll just have a question that how many of you have for your PhD, how many of you have referred a thesis for doing research? How many theses? Okay, so means you all just read the journals and articles and everything, and you just forget about thesis. Okay, so like every year around more than 10,000 or some theses are published. Okay, so if you consider this case, so you don't think that thesis is a readable material so that you can refer it. Or the second thing is that it is not available to you for reading. Okay, so that's the second thing. That is the most important thing. Thesis is what a researcher has done throughout 3 or 4 or 5 years of hard work, and that no one has referred to. Okay, so that's a very sad situation that people are doing so much research, but that is not means that is not discoverable by people who are doing research. So that's why this Shodhganga repository came. Why this Shodhganga happened? Basically, there was a situation in 2006 that there are only 2 universities that were having a repository of thesis. Okay, that is published by their university. So I remember that Mahatma Gandhi University in Kerala, they are having a repository, and that was well acknowledged and by many people. Okay. So that is the main reason for this having this Shodhganga, so that people will able to get visibility of their theses, whatever is research is done in India, that can be read by everybody, and so that people can also share the knowledge and comments and all those things. Okay, and then another thing is that there is a duplication of research. Like if you'll go that someone is doing some research in Kerala and someone is doing some research in Assam, so they don't know what they are doing. Okay, means already something has been done because, but it is not available to people that whether it is already some research has been done or not. So that's why people again make the same kind of research once again. Okay, and there are copying and pasting, that plagiarism. There are many sessions about plagiarism later on. So it's basically that some cases, because what happens in case of thesis, that it is when it is submitted to the university, it's kept in the library only. Okay, and people are very rarely people refer to that, and because someone has to go to visit the specific library only, and then they have to check that. So if another researcher wants to copy that thesis, he can copy everything and then take it into his thesis. No one will find it out, because it will be always kept in a cupboard and no one will ever read it, and no one will find out whatever is copied. So that's another reason why this Shodhganga came. And then this poor access, that is means people are not able to read what is available in this thesis. and automatically if it is not read, the research is kept there and the research has been died there itself. Okay. So basically in 2009 the UGC have come up with this guideline where the people have to submit a soft copy of their thesis to a central repository so that people can read it. So this thing has been given to InfluMNet Center to set up a repository and okay. And in 2016 also there is a the revised guideline come about this MPhil minimum standards and procedure per award of MPhil and PhD degree, that also mandated that same thing, that it should be given to a central repository so that it is available in open access and everyone can refer it. Okay, so what is the role of InfluMNet at here? Basically we maintain a web portal for that, and then people will upload the thesis there, and there are we can create some guidelines and responsibility, because how thesis are means how to make it chapter wise and upload it in a uniform manner so that everyone can refer it. And then funding awareness, basically funding is for once the thesis is published. Okay, so people can the libraries, the university libraries, they can have a repository of their own where they can have a repository of all the thesis of PhD and MPhil, and there are funding for set up labs for that, for PhD, Shodhganga labs for that. And the universities, they are basically they will upload and maintain the records for their university, because they are the person who are directly dealing with the research. Okay, so basically InfluMNet is only maintaining the website and approval and all those things, and it is all the theses that are coming, they are coming directly from the university. University are having a coordinator assigned and they can upload the thesis. Okay, so this is the Shodhganga thesis repository portal. It's now around 1,95,000 plus theses are already available, openly available. So anyone can access it from anywhere, and it's being widely used throughout the world, because we are getting mails from outside India about different research or topics and all those things.
Dr. Pradhan, these theses come in the different searches?
Yes, it comes in Google Scholar also everywhere.
Without going to Shodhganga, they will appear?
Yes. It comes in Google search also. That's why if you go to the website now, Shodhganga, there is a specific option to how to cite if you have found out the article from from Google search. Okay, because we got so many queries that we have got this article, because what happens in Shodhganga, all the articles are, all the chapter theses are uploaded chapter wise. Okay, so when someone searches on Google or somewhere, they will find the chapter and they will read it. They don't know how to cite it. So that's why we have put up a option that how to find out all those things. Yes, so it is uploaded by the universities. So this is the website. So there are basically three components of ETD, this Shodhganga. One is the submission of soft copies of thesis by research scholar, and then digitization of the backlist of thesis. For that digitization, basically UGC has given funds to universities so that they can digitize their previous theses, because from after 2009 onwards, most people they got the soft copy of thesis, but what about the previous thesis? Okay, so for that there are funds are given. Okay, and setting up ETD lab in university, basically this is for so that people will get aware about what are ETD means electronic thesis, because generally as a researcher everybody refers only the journal articles, but there are theses which are not referred. Okay, and Shodhganga is basically it's the second largest repository of thesis in the world now. Okay, and then after that come the plagiarism part. So for that the Shodhganga this provides the anti-plagiarism software to universities that are UGC funded university, and it's funded by UGC. Okay, So you can see that this is the number of theses, and there are synopsis also submitted, and there are 325 contributing universities and 389 universities that have signed the MOU. Okay, why there is a difference? Because basically, so in Shodhganga we are having a provision to sign an MOU with the university, so that university can directly upload the thesis, because it's not a single person that can do everything. Okay, so every university has to take this initiative so that they can submit their thesis. So that's why we sign a MOU with universities, and we assign a person in the specific university. They can get the theses uploaded into this database. Okay, so you can see that top 10 universities like Calcutta University is having 11,000, Pune University is having 9,300. So this has got E-India award, and last year we have got a award from NDLTD, that is the from USA, that is the repository of all the ETDs. Okay, you can go to the search options. There is a simple search, advanced search, subject-wise search, and Google search. Basically, you can directly go to Google and search specific for Shodhganga. Okay, then you can browse by university, submission, research guide, keyword, and key title. Okay, here you will get the information about the different how you can format your thesis and provide the metadata. And there are guidelines about type of access, because what happens in case of thesis, that many people, whatever they have published in the thesis, they also go for patenting those things, or they also go for writing research article based on that thesis. Okay, so that's why there are also type of access. There is a restriction of access, so that university can also make a access restriction that the thesis will be available after 1 year of award, or 2 years, that kind of restriction, 6 months of award, that kind of restriction is there. Okay, then there is a search and browse option. You can go here, and there are guides available, that awareness guide and how to convert to PDF and thesis templates. I think all these things, your guide is also having some information, and they may be giving you such guidelines. Okay. And basically this Shodhganga thesis is, this repository is having language independent, so you can also upload thesis in regional language, but the main thing is that whatever thesis you are having, it should be in Unicode format, because Unicode is the standard for regional languages. So if you are having if you are preparing your thesis, you should have all the document in Unicode format, not in any regional font, okay, so that people can search, because once it is a Unicode compliant, anyone can search it, and even all the search engines, they can also search it. Other than this Shodhganga, we are having a Shodhganga repository that is basically for Synopsis, but it's not that much popular, because people fear that if they will upload their Synopsis, then someone may take it away, their topic, and do the research. Okay. So from this Shodhganga thesis, then next came the plagiarism part, because once the theses are available openly, then people have come across that there are so many plagiarized things, and so people are doing the similar kind of research. They are copying from someone else's document and pasting in their document. So that's why the UGC have given the thought to provide a plagiarism software, so that not basically plagiarism software, it's basically similarity check software, so that people can get themselves aware about what they have submitted, whether it is full of means having any similarity with another article, whether they have given citations clearly or not. Okay. So basically in 2014-15, Authenticate and Turnitin was provided to 100 university. Now InfluMnet is providing this Urkun software to around 190 university. Basically these university are the university that are funded by UGC. So this year, okay, so why this plagiarism? Because plagiarism is, this has come across, it was always there, but due to the Google now people find it very easy to get copy paste and all those things. Okay, so I am not going much detail into all these definitions because we are having a separate session about plagiarism. Okay, so I'll just skip this slide. Okay, plagiarism, just a minute. Okay, basically it's to steal someone else's idea and words. Sir has already mentioned the same thing. Okay, so plagiarism also includes basically using someone else's exact words without using quotation mark. Okay, means if you are taking someone else some thought or some ideas, you have to have marked it in a quotation, and using someone else's idea without using a citation, even if their source is in bibliography. Basically, people put bibliography, but you should have cited the specific portion where you have referred it. And there is another plagiarism, that is using rearranged word from a source without a citation. Means you just rearrange the words and do it. And why people plagiarize? These are all the same reasons for why people publish in the predatory journals. Okay, lack of time, competition, lack of knowledge, lack of enforcement, fear of failure. That's why people also publish in predatory journals. That's why also people do plagiarisms. Okay, then there are basically 4 types of plagiarism. One is completely plagiarism, that you just take the complete article and put it somewhere else. Then copy paste, just take some parts of the article and paste it, and then word switch, just rearrange the words. And self plagiarism, that you just whatever you have written in a blog, you are publishing it as an article. So that is also one type of self plagiarism, because that is already published somewhere and you are republishing again. Okay, so that's why all these plagiarism checker softwares or similarity checker software have come. Okay, it's not that this software is basically not to check what is the plagiarism content, but basically to instruct you that these are the similar content you are using. So whether you are citing it properly or not. So how does it work? Okay, basically the plagiarism software, they have their own corpus, like they are having a database of all those texts, like whatever is available in open web. Like you go for Google Scholar or Google, okay, you search Shodhganga. So that is openly available. That is already indexed in their software. Okay. Then they crawl for internet for basically what are the popular websites or academic website. Then they have publications of open and commercial publishers, like all those publishers like Elsevier or Springer or Wiley. They have agreement with all those publishers. So the publishers, they provide the content to these plagiar check softwares. Okay, so they have index of that, and they have custom repository. Custom repository means like university people. You are a university, and you are having uploading the document of your students' thesis or students' assignments and all those things. That kind of repository is also maintained by them. Okay, so they have a this database is for all those kind of documents that is available online. Okay, because then what happens when you submit a manuscript into this software, it breaks that into smaller pieces. Okay, like if it's a 1,000 words paragraph, so it will break it into 10 word, 20 word, 30 word, that chunk of words. Okay, small chunks of phrases. Then it will match with their own database. Okay, after it matches, then it gives a result that is basically called the similarity report. Okay, so similarity report is basically whatever content you have submitted and what is it contains from where it is referred. Okay, then comes that what are the sources it mentions. Okay, so it's not basically that a similarity report is what is similar to any other source. Then comes the plagiarism part. Then next part is that whatever you have mentioned, whether you have mentioned it in quotations or not, whether you have mentioned it in some kind of references or not. So that report that you have to, that only the person who is dealing with that report, he has to decide. It's not that software says that it's 90% means it's not that it's 90% plagiarized. It contains 90% similar information. Okay, then comes the editor or whoever is the researcher guide, or he will decide. Because if you are like you are going for a review article, okay, you are reviewing 100 articles. So it automatically it will contain the text of all those 100 articles. So it's not that the software says that it is 80% or 60% is plagiarized content, but it is similar content. Only the person who is reviewing the report, he has to take the decision. Then what are the different approaches for similarity detection? Basically, software does it through this fingerprinting, like that smaller, it will break into smaller part of text, and it will, then there is a string matching. Okay, it will match the complete string of a sentence. Then there bag of words, like you plagiarize, you just alter the words in between and rephrase it. Okay, so it will also like within 50 words, these many words are repeated. So it will show that okay, you have rephrased the words and you have again saved this. And then citation analysis, basically in citation analysis part, that is what it will check whether you have put proper quotation mark for the similar text, or whether you have put a quotation, like when we are citing, we just mention the first surname of author along with the year in bracket. So it will check that kind of thing, whether you have put references, that kind of thing. So automatically it will remove that. So that is the software it does. Then stylometry. Okay, that's also a, basically it's analyzing the author's unique writing style. Okay, what happens that sometimes if you are a real author and writing an article, you will write it as per your style of writing from beginning to end. But what happens if someone is copying and pasting the text? What it will do? He will take some person from this article, then next paragraph will take something from another article, next paragraph is something from another article. So style will be different. Somewhere you are using active voice, somewhere you are using passive voice. So automatically software will say, okay, this is not your style of writing, you are just taking something from here. So these are different type of options that all these plagiarism detection tools that look for. Okay, so whenever you also review for an article, you can also look for this kind of thing, how the style of writing of the person. Okay, so these are different approaches, and there are different anti-plagiarism tools available. There are some openly available and many commercial, but more people prefer the commercial softwares because they are having more index, because the open web is basically that is what is available only in open. But in case of commercial products, they have the agreement with different publishers, the closed content that is also in their index. Okay. So the most popular are that Turnitin, Authenticate, and Urkund, that is provided to universities through Shodhganga. And then Viper, that is it was earlier available openly freely to everybody, but now they have made it a paid version. Okay, so Turnitin, basically it has around 24 billion web pages and 25 million archived student papers. This basically archived student paper is whatever the student paper, like I have told, that different university who subscribe to this software, they also put their content in the archive. So that is also kept in their archive. So that can also be checked if like the student is copying from another student's project. That kind of check has been is possible through these softwares. And this Authenticate, then this Urkund software that is basically provided through Shodhganga. Okay, so how to avoid plagiarism? You have to understand what are the different portions that that constitutes plagiarism. Means what is called plagiarism. When you have used a source, give proper credits for that. Then acknowledge the author for the original work you have used. when you are in doubt, cite it and learn how to properly cite references. There are different reference management tools available. You can use those, I think. Something Mendeley or something, you will be having classes, no? I think. So that also give you an insight how to cite and how you can use reference management softwares. And this basically this plagiarism softwares, they also help you in different kind of thing that like in next classes you may have discussed about some unintentional plagiarism. Like you don't know, but you have cited something. So if you are using this kind of software, you will come to know, okay, this part is from this source, okay, but I don't know. So you can also enhance your that article and put the proper citations for that, okay. And there are also punishments. I have already, sir has given so many examples that how many people have due to publication ethics, same plagiarism also many people have get some punishments. And there are also in the UGC draft guideline, they have prepared for this prevention of plagiarism in higher education. They have given also some guidelines for this penalizing. Yeah, it's over. So they have given something, but it's again a draft guideline. I don't know when it is, whether it is, what is its status, means whether it is approved or when it will be approved or there will be any changes. Penalty for faculty they have decided. Okay, so that's all about the plagiarism softwares and how similar all these plagiarism softwares work. Okay, thank you.